Warframe at this point has so many primary weapons in the game that it can be very hard to choose which are some of the best, your favorite, and most destructive in the game. So today, that's what we're gonna go over. And before we do that, a quick word from this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Prime Gaming. Have you heard of Prime Gaming? You totally should have by now. If not, Prime Gaming is an amazing program from Amazon. As you can see, it offers a ton of in-game free content and loot with Prime, and you can claim it one by one. Prime Gaming is included free with an Amazon Prime membership and includes free in-game content for over 40 games. Prime Gaming also lets you download free PC games to keep every month and gives you a free Twitch subscription to your favorite Twitch channel. January's free games include Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Total War Warhammer, World War Z, Aftermath, and more. In addition to this, Warframe is offering an exclusive avatar accessory available with Prime Gaming, the Verve Ifrit Kubro armor, which has a value of $15, and the Loki Verve bundle, which has a $30 value. All you have to do is click the link in my description to sign up for Prime Gaming and claim all of Prime Gaming's amazing offers. You can get so much that you will regret it if you don't get it now. Level up with Prime Gaming just as I did. Trust me, it's awesome. So everyone, the first weapon I have for you today is the Tenant Arca Plasmore. As you can see, this is my general mod setup once it actually loads in. I just have it built for viral radiation heat, shoots out fast, does a lot of damage, and then because of all of the new mods, has pretty much good damage buildup. So I like taking this weapon into Steel Path, just running around and absolutely slaying everything. Even if you don't have a Riven on it, which, trust me, is not necessary, you'll be able to absolutely slay the enemies. I think it has an inherent like 2 or maybe even 3 body punch through. Yeah, I think it's 3. So a shotgun like this is going to absolutely tear through the enemies. Like, you don't have to throw on any sort of fire rate if you don't want to, but I myself prefer it. This is, after all, a very high damage innate shotgun, so you shouldn't have really any troubles with it. The only annoying part is getting it because it is a Tenant weapon, but because of that, it can have such a high amount of different weapon elements built into it that you can build it really however you want. So in my opinion, this is a must-have Tenant weapon, okay? 10 out of 10 would recommend. I should probably mention that I'm not putting this list in any specific order. We're just going over some of my favorite best weapons for 2022, so feel free to mention any of your favorite weapons that you're going to be using down below. And if you have any new favorites, yeah, let me know. Next up here, we have the Kuva Brahma. So this is an explosive bow that has been also a fan favorite. As you can see with my build, an insanely high innate 105% crit chance because of the beautiful, beautiful crit delay mod. And the innate damage is not as high as the previous one, same with the radial attack, but oh my god, do the multipliers more than make up for that. Just running around the map with this weapon is a great idea because you'll just be blowing up everything. It's generally recommended to have vigilante supplies and some sort of ammo pickup on it because I think you only carry like 6, 7, maybe even 8 arrows on you at one time. So it doesn't have a huge ammo amount that you hold on, and it's, let's be real, very easy to shoot off 7 bow shots within like a minute. Because if you're not shooting at least that, you're not really playing with your bow that much. So definitely want to run ammo pickup. Other than that, run whatever you want on it. It just does so much damage, right? It's a good mixture of high crit, status, multi-shot, and then just general mods to build up damage. Speed trigger or any sort of fire rate, again, is more so up to you. I prefer it on these types of weapons, but hey, that's more up to you. It's just a great weapon that can do a ton of damage and explode everything around the map. So there's probably going to be a lot of AoE weapons in this list, as AoE primaries are kind of the best thing for 2022 and the current Warframe meta of just playing the game. So yeah, keep that in mind. Next up, we have the Exceltra right here. Yes, this is pretty much my favorite weapon, and as you can see, the damage stats that I have on this are absolutely insane because of my crit damage, crit chance ribbon. You of course don't need a ribbon. You can swap this ribbon out with any general damage, maybe even more fire rate. I wouldn't really do more fire rate, or maybe more multi-shot, but it's up to you. This Exceltra is my go-to for just daily play. It's a strong enough weapon that you can run it in Steel Path, but you might not be able to run it far in Steel Path if you're going for any sort of late game high level enemy run. But other than that, it does insane amounts of damage. It has like a decent amount of ammo, and the AoE might not be huge on it, but since it's a very high fire rate rifle, it doesn't even matter. So I would definitely run the Exceltra every day if you like it. And it's always going to be my favorite, so hey, run it if you want, don't run it if you want. As always, this is just a list of some sick weapons, so feel free to do it if you want to. Next up, we have the Ignis Wraith, fan favorite status spreading flamethrower. This is the current build I have on it. This is a mixed build just for a little bit of damage and a little bit of status. Crit damage and status, I should say. As you can see, a lot of the builds that we're looking at will be pretty much similar, if not the same, as the general idea of Warframe builds for primary weapons, especially if they're explosive, and if you always run hybrid builds like myself, they tend to look pretty similar. The reason the Ignis Wraith is so good is it's an inherent heat flamethrower, and it is so good at spreading status, and if you build it like I do, it's just good at doing damage overall, let's be real here. So this one is a favorite of a lot of people, and I would definitely recommend picking it up if you're MR, I believe 8. You can ask pretty much anyone in trade chat and just be like, hey, can I get an Ignis Wraith for free? At least if you're on PC, you'll get one pretty quickly. On the other consoles, might take a little bit. But this is a great weapon that really everyone should use if you want to just have an easy, simple weapon. Deals a lot of damage, don't have to put too much effort into aiming, and you just light up everyone on fire. So, would recommend, but, you know, as always, it's up to you. Ah yes, the Rubico Prime. So I would say mainly I would recommend using the Rubico Prime as a bossing sniper. That is pretty much what I use it for, because there's only so many times in Warframe where you need a weapon that can do one shot of damage and a lot of it. And when you need that, oh boy, is the Rubico Prime for you. There's a decent amount of snipers in the game that are okay for that, or bows, but the Rubico Prime is still most people's favorite for like Eidolon hunting, bossing in general and whatnot, and you know, I love it. So this is my current build that I have on it. Nothing too surprising here. I don't think I've swapped it around too much with the new galvanized mods, but it's just a fun, decent, corrosive, work in progress build. I believe you want radiation for Eidolons, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter too much. As you can see, the amount of crit chance it does is absolutely insane, so that's probably going to be all you really need there. It's not, obviously, a huge status weapon, but that is fine. You'll get all of the kills for this, and if you want, you can take out things that build up like Galvanized Chamber if you're going to be using it purely only for bossing, because you don't need to get a bunch of kills to stack up your multi-shot first. But that being said, Galvanized Chamber is just pretty good overall, so I wouldn't even bother taking that off. But this is the Rubico Prime, a lovely weapon that everyone should probably want to use here and there. Next up, we have the Nadaruk, the amazing new bow that was released post from the New War questline, and it deals so much crit and so much status. I've already made a video or two talking about this one. As you can see, once you perfect shot build it, 180% crit chance is slightly bonkers with 5.3 times crit multiplier. Having so much damage and 80% status chance on top of that just kind of makes this a powerhouse weapon. That being said, you might not like the whole charged perfect shot mechanic of it, but even without that, it's still so good. It has unlimited ammo, so you're not going to have to worry about that. So build it however you feel like, but oh my, it's definitely good for crit, definitely good for status, so It's going to be a fan favorite probably going forward for quite some time. 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend the Nadaruk. Next, I have the Bubonico. So I love this arm cannon, and I don't have a perfect build for it. That's what I've been planning to do soon enough, but I only have sort of a half build kind of going on there. So I have Primed Ravage, just doing corrosive damage. And the hilarious part is, half the time I don't even realize or notice that I don't have a full build on this, because it just does so much damage without it that it really doesn't matter, right? I'll probably end up putting on more multi-shot, more attack speed, maybe? I don't actually even know. This is without a doubt high crit, good enough status. It has 2 fire modes on this weapon, right? I think the primary is better for crit, whereas the secondary is better for status. So no matter what you're gonna pull on this one, oh my, it'll do so good. So you can actually just build it however you feel like rolling, and just make sure that you're gonna have a fun time with it, because oh dear god, it's great. Next up, I have the Ceto. I believe this was Lavos' shotgun, and it also has a secondary fire. The primary and secondary fire are really good, and it has a very similar shtick to the Bubonico. Primary fire is way better for crit than status, and the secondary fire is literally made for status. So there's a lot of ways you can build this. I, as always, build it hybrid with viral radiation here so that I can spread a ton of status while also just straight up running around and shotgunning the enemies. It's a good weapon, and I definitely recommend it for a lot of people just because of the versatility and the amount of both damage with crit and status that can be applied using it. So like, without a doubt, it's just so good. I mean, I would say get it if you can, because maybe farming up the Lavos weapons might be a bit of a pain. But if you can get it, you can definitely say it's worth it, because you see the footage in the background of just shooting up enemies, destroying them without even having to aim. Yeah, it does pretty well. So everyone, that is my list for my best primary weapons going into 2022 that I would recommend for y'all. These are just personal weapons I find really fun, really good, and really interesting. And no surprise, a lot of it is AoE, because the name of the game in Warframe is killing all the enemies at once. And how are you gonna do that? AoE. There are a lot of like small specific niche things with each little weapon here and there, so I may not have covered every small detail about the weapons, because yeah, I didn't want to have a 50-minute video. No, instead just like a 10-15 minute video going over all of the sweet damaging primaries. So if you like the video, check out any of my other videos, comment down below, and follow me on Twitch or other platforms. So, thank you all, and I will see you next time. Peace.